can do it during the movie. All right, let her know we're going on. Get her out of there. Play our fucking thing. Play our movie, please. Play our fucking
movie. Welcome to Shri and Kira Live, the voice of passionate action. Celebrating 21 years of continual public service, Shri and Kira offer you the blessing of the experience of I am as you are. Enjoy timeless wisdom, divine inspiration, community connection, and joyful fun. Discover your best life filled with the peace, love, and joy of the Yoga of Self-Ascension as you ignite your dreams with the Law of Instantaneous Manifestation. And now, sit back and relax and welcome Shri and Kira.
Namaste, beloved ones, and welcome to Shri and Kira Live.
Indeed. Namaste, everyone, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, hey, this is a magical, hugely big day. So the first thing we want to invite you to do is bring your hands to your heart, right? And as you do, let's take in that beautiful, deep, conscious Ave Sa breath, going in on that Ave. Smile. There we are. We have so much to share with you today. And the gift of this moment together is that in the energy of that 13th convergence that opened up last Monday, that is not stable and is actually destabilizing. And we're going to be talking about how to bring the Sea of Neutrality in around that. We're going to be talking about the revelations that are happening right now in this moment because of this equinox 50,000 year event. And, Shri and I want to celebrate that in the energy of this beautiful community. And all of you that are with us live right now over at YouTube, Official Shri and Kira, get ready, because I don't know about you, Shri, but I kind of jumped in, guys, because we have a special guest that's giving me the greatest, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I wore my sparkly sweater, right? And so we're going to bring in the single most amazing musical guest that we could absolutely have in this extraordinary moment of potentiality, the one, the only Fanny, StarChild. There she is. Hey, beautiful one.
Welcome, dear.
We see you beautifully. You got to unmute though, or you are. We can't hear you. There you are. Oh my gosh, do you look gorgeous there?
Are you ready to feel the butterflies?
Yes.
Always.
Oh, transformation indeed. What a perfect selection.
Thank you. You ready?
Yes.
Here we go.
Right, my love.
Beautiful, beautiful butterfly. Spread your wings and fly. So gently in the wind as you fly, you disappear in the blueness of beautiful, beautiful butterfly. As you take yourself ever so lightly, you can fly through the rising of the inner sun. Follow your heart, follow the light, and fly. In my dreams I fly. Is this real? Oh, I'm dreaming what I'm feeling. Life is but a dream, my dream. I in the gentleness and the sweetness of this time, you can fly. The sky is yours to be light, to be free. Just take yourself ever so lightly. So you can fly, beautiful, beautiful as you are, beautiful butterfly. Beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful as you are. And so it is, we fly. Let's just remember who we are, to take ourselves, soul, ever lightly as we are, children of the stars.
Yes.
Always.
Mm.
Oh, thank you. You know, Fanny, we had our audio off for a moment because I was sharing with Sri that every time the blessing of your experience of calling forward the energy of pure love has the radiation that it carries and sustains the way it sustains, I was just sitting here giggling again because you touch. It is so rare. Feel your crown, everybody. Feel your crown chakra, everybody, right now. Feel your crown. I know you feel it. And so as you're feeling your crown chakra, as you're feeling this ignition right now, hear the harmony right now in your ears, hear the frequency that's just been opened. Take everything this beautiful angel just offered us in this moment where the convergence is unstable, seeking balance, coming into the equinox together, right? To finally bring this where it needs to be, right? To ignite, you feel it? And so what's happening right now in real time is so pure and so rare that I just want to share with you, sweetheart, that you may not be aware that on Thursday morning, other than Shri, my most deepest companion on the planet, my big, beautiful boy, ascended in our pyramid. We had a beautiful ceremony, but losing my dog, Henry, after all these years, who walks with me alone through the forests and walks with me every day and
Always there.
walks and walks. In this moment, your choice, I was just blubbering. So I was like, before we had to put the camera back on, I'm like, am I raccoon eyes? What's going on here? So I just wanted to thank you right now. And for bringing those tears of joy and freedom once more, and for your depth of knowing and sharing with our community. We are so honored. We really are. And thank you for letting me share.
Thank you so much. I did choose this song just for you because a butterfly is about the ascension and to be part of this dear, dear universe that we all are in. So I'm so honored to be here. If you like, I can play a song at the end also. I'll be here the whole way. So if you like, I could close a song if your heart
I think that's just a slam dunk, yes.
And while you're here, I want to
give you some love.
I want to share some of the
much pouring in around you. Let's give you some love right now. Let's go straight.
Some of the beautiful comments as you were playing. Angel Light Therapy says, "Beautiful Fanny, you are so talented in hearts." And another listener says, "It's so soulful."
So true. So
oh my
true,
God,
so
Fanny, just so incredible.
So true. Another person.
And
here's another
Patty shares, "Beautiful Fanny, namaste."
And she actually opened it with a big oh. Here's another one from Hollis. Hey, Hollis.
"So beautiful, angelic Fanny. Thank you so much."
And here's tropical one.
Says, "Just magical."
Oh, so true. So true. And Charaliza. Hey, Charaliza. Well, we're going to be living with you really soon in LA. Here's what she says.
She says, "Beautiful. Thank you, Fanny."
And this is over at those of us that are with us live right now over at Official Shri and Kira at YouTube. I hope you've already subscribed. I hope you're with us every time that we're here. And Fanny, with all of our heart and soul, we bow before the priestess you are. And of course, we want you here at the end. And we're so glad you're hanging out. We love you, sweetheart.
See you
All
real
right,
soon.
we'll see you really soon. Thank you for being there. And I know that all of you are feeling this extraordinary up-level moment, the sense of what's coming together. And really, Shri, I just want to say from my heart, to you, the entire community, that walking through Henry's ascension this week, do you realize what he's done? He gave all of us the first conscious ascension in the center of the pyramid of peace.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt, if I may take a moment, I felt in some ways like we were honoring the old ways with a sacrifice. And Henry was so extraordinarily beautiful. And we do have pictures and photos of the ascension ceremony and all the people that were there. And in this moment, I just wanted to thank Fanny again, because I've been walking through a lot of tears over the past few days. And I bet a lot of you have been feeling a lot of energy the past few days too. But it was an interesting moment. Yeah. And Fanny's song just really kind of brought a beautiful moment into a nicer harmony. And so how awesome. Right.
And it was such a privilege to be with an ascended one in the form of a dog who chose his time and communicated and said, "Now is my time."
literally
God.
told us the day we had to make the arrangements. And here's what was so amazing too, is that a lot of our staff here that are really our family, they've just been here so long, they're really family to us, who also were very bonded with Henry, came at 7:30 in the morning to be there for this beautiful sunrise ceremony. And it was truly a gift to look up into the center of the Pyramid of Peace and Kyla has some great photos. We should get all these photos up at Facebook, guys. All these beautiful photos of the sun that came out for the first time in a week.
Awesome sun.
Right? In a week. For a full week, every time we woke up, it was cloudy and mystical like today. But Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, those 3 days, have been glorious sun. And then this morning, we've come back into this beautiful mist with you. And I think that's just perfect time.
Yeah, absolutely. The
Yeah.
mists invite us to relax our need to control and be present for what is about to reveal.
Wow. Can we feel that? Oh, feel your hands. I know you guys can feel that. So we're going to dive right in because there is so much to share. And first and foremost, as we were already sharing for our beautiful beloved Fanny, who I know is just getting showered with a bunch more stuff, please, if you're live with us, get over to YouTube and be right there at official Shri and Kira. If you're not already at YouTube, get over to YouTube. I know we're on lots of other places, but over at YouTube live on those Sundays, first and third Sunday of every month, the whole community's there. Susan Sturdivant's there, Falling Snow Woman, sending us your in real time questions and your sharings. And so please don't hold back, jump into that community sharing and really receive the love and be with those. And Shri, it brings me immediately into something that I think is really important to talk about right now. And that is the Sacred Five, only I don't see it. We closed it. So we had, no, the other one I sent you.
Interesting.
Anyway,
We'll
so
get it.
yeah, would you? So while Shri's going to get it, let's talk about and remember that the Sacred Five begins with you, that you are the energy of the living Ankh. Remember that in the energy of the living Ankh, you are in that moment of Shri showing me all of the things I sent him. There it is right there, sweetheart.
Okay.
There it is.
All right. We'll
Okay.
get that up.
All right,
for you
we're
in a
going to
second.
share right now. So if we just hit share, that'd be great. It's easier for me to show you. Thank you. That way I don't get distracted by watching all these screens. One day a producer will come. Okay, so here we are. We had a producer in the past. That's why we're completely ruined. All right, so here we are. The Sacred Five. So remember that the Sacred Five begins with you. You see the living Ankh, and let's just relax your eyes, get rid of all of the essence of the words right now, and really even go beyond it and go all the way out into the cosmic universe. You see that? Go all the way out in the cosmic universe, and then you see that beautiful five-pointed star, the Matronian star, all of the ignitions, the multiple potentialities. And if you gaze up into that top of the ascension area, that top of this beautiful living Ankh, you see the ignition of what? That is that beautiful discus, that beautiful center point, that 0 point U, because that's really important, guys. We're going to go right into this about this convergence energy. So remember, the 0 point U is what? The tip of the living Ankh. And the living Ankh is that split bottom Ankh. Some people have called it the Atlantean Ankh. But the split bottom Ankh is you. When we stand with our feet at shoulder width and our arms straight out and our head naturally tilted back with our heart forward, we literally become the active experience of the law of instantaneous manifestation. And in that support, in that knowing, in everything that's happening right now, today is one of those Sacred Five anchor days, right? It begins every first Saturday of the month when we come together and we literally discover the blessing of miracles together and have the energy and the ensoulments and the community experiences and the sharing. It's humbling. And so that's how we open our eyes every month. And then we have these two beautiful Sunday services that become our work into the world, our active presence, our sense of saying, yes, I am as you are. Yes, I am more than just words. Yes, I am more than just somebody that talks about it. I am active through the divine blessing of passionate action, because that's what Sunday service is. It's passionate action. And then Monday Mastery is the anchors, right? The two anchor points insights into this potentiality where we come very much into that sacred moment of those of us that are just saying, I'm just so glad to be here with you. You know, it's just so good to be with you. We mark our calendar, just like our divine mastery presence. We mark our calendar for every Wednesday as well, right? It's those moments of connection that offer you the opportunity right now to stand in that eternal life presence, to not just think about it, fantasize about it, wish about it, to say, you know what, how many more years am I going to do that? Why don't I just stick out my foot and do something about it? Right. And I want to share, it brings us to something that Sri and I are doing. And Sri, I want you to share a little bit more about this one, because it's really important for everybody to understand that what we're doing about it is we're coming out of the cave. And I got to tell you guys, you all know, right, that Sri and I have been blessed to live among the indigenous and be accepted by and written in the book of days of the Mayan and taught the ancient ways while they've received the crystalline transmissions for 12 years. And when we left North America, we knew that if we went back, it would be very much like when we were called to England for the crop circle. It would be very much like the call that came in to go to Egypt, which was very interesting because the minute the Egypt journey hit the critical number to go, this opportunity came forward as well. And so, Sri, you want to talk about what we're doing on Friday? Because I think this is really important. And oh my gosh, you guys need to know, Sri and I are literally on a plane in 2 days.
Yeah, coming up to Los Angeles. And I want to go ahead, we'll get the camera back on. You know, Friday is a beautiful mystical salon. And a mystical salon means that we are gathered in a circle going deep into the essence of our own mastery presence. And in creating that container of sincerity, love, and presence, Master Lady Kira Ra opens the portal and brings through the ascended realm. And that ascended realms begins to interact with those that have gathered, begins to share an energetic, a wisdom teaching, a healing, and answer questions. And this is very special and it's very pure. There is 100% absence of any ego or agenda. There is nothing we can say other than the portal will be open and we will share it together. It is always healing, uplifting, inspiring, and calming.
I just want to share with you, we're not going to say much more about what's going on other than when we left North America, the last time we did this in person, I had to have 7 bodyguards. I came to on a stage with people projecting, and it took me almost a year to heal from that. And living 12 years among the indigenous and being here with you now, we've made this available for 40 people, period. Friday night. We might already be at max capacity. I don't know, but I know we're really, really close.
Yep.
But what I can share with you is that we have really been called that the live stream has been made available and that the connection with that which is saying yes, because that sacred container has been held. So if you want to be a part of this live, you're going to want to let us know really, really soon.
Yeah.
And
Sriandkira.com and click through on the events page. You'll find it.
And the one thing I really want to invite you to call into your heart is that Sri and I have been very, very blessed to have been really had our hands held by the archangelic realm now going into our 21st year of public service. And when we met online, we're probably one of the first internet dating stories ever, right? Spiritualsingles.com. And so when we met online, we had no idea that 21 years later, we'd be sitting here with Global Minga, that we'd be doing what we're doing with you, this extraordinary community. And this is why these Sundays matter. And after today, I really encourage you, I'm sure that they'll be talking about it over at the chat at YouTube, go and be part of the after party, because this incredible community hangs out together online. Go be part of the after party, meet other people. You can ask all the things that you're like, what the hell was Kira saying, right? Did I understand that or not? or cool, let me hear what more, or how can we be here? Or hey, how do I find Fanny? You know, what's going on? So go to the after party. So I hope you guys are chatting about that. And Shri, I really want to move into this moment because I want to share with you guys, I'm going to offer you a graphic right now and invite you to just kind of breathe in as you're looking at it and say, okay, how do I feel as I'm connecting with that? Right? And I want you to really breathe in. Bring those hands to the heart and breathe in and really receive the blessing. Shri, I'm going to ask you to read that first line for us.
Let's take a deep breath together.
Yeah.
Opening the heart to the full capacity of our presence and just feel this sharing. My mind is my servant.
My mind is my servant.
Freedom and resolution.
Freedom and resolution.
My mind is my servant.
Freedom and resolution. Ray solution. Freedom, release, beingness, the four knowns. If ever there was a moment for you to read the four knowns, and especially the second, it is right now.
Yeah.
It is right now. This moment, I'm going to go back to the calendar, right? We're going to start with the calendar, and I can see that our other screen is lighting up. There's lots coming in from Sue. So we're going to get to your questions and sharings in a moment. But the reason I want you guys to look at the calendar is I want you to go back to last week, right? So what was going on last week? Well, it's kind of hard to miss, right? It's that red bullseye, right? It's kind of sitting there on the 13th going, hello, right?
Last Monday.
Right? So remember that. So if you were with us at Monday Mastery, which I hope you all are, you already heard we were talking about this, and together we were working through this energy of, number one, this Jupiter-Mars effect up-level moment meant that you have really the gods of war trumpeting with the gods of peace. You've got hate, greed, you've got peace, love, you've got fear, and you have trust. And this is that moment where we've been talking a lot about the ascension escalator from 2015 to 2021 and how those energies are coming in. Well, last Monday, that portal came into this planet, and here's what's so powerful. If you bring your eyes back again, kind of get rid of the calendar and go right in the middle, what do you see? You see a horizontal open eye. I want you to pay attention to that very horizontal looking open eye in what looks like the iris, that sea of neutrality. You're also seeing all these alchemies. You see many different things that could be the opening eye, the blossoming of something. But more importantly, I'm going to ask Shri to read it again. Here's what you're gazing at.
The fully opened eye of the center of the storm opens to reveal the new alchemies forming as the full moon rises, to remind all that the sacred feminine is one with the divine masculine. Unification is the key.
Now, feel your hands. I want Shri just to read those last four words again.
Taking a breath. Unification is the key.
Unification is the key. In a moment of awareness, right? Lest us not forget the ascension consciousness energy of this month of March is very much about awareness. And it's in the energy of the seven and the energy of that mastery. So I'm going to take you to the ascended numerology in just a moment, but I want you to look at where we are, my angels. Right now, today on the 19th, we're literally in what I'm calling the outer rim. Look at where you are. Look, just take in that little square. Remember, every one of these calendars, every one of these planners every year, I come back and look at them with just as much fascination as you do, right? But this is exactly the visions and exactly how they ask for them to be formatted. We are at the outer rim, but we're already supported. Do you see that first beautiful, I like to call it an eyelash. You see it, it's coming right up in the corner by the number 19. It came up last Sunday and it's kind of looping around. It's bringing last week back into this week again. It's saying, hey, you got to go back and look at this because this convergence thing is happening. And here's where it gets phenomenal, right? And then I'm going to show you where we are. This convergence thing is happening, this Jupiter-Mars intersection, right, is happening for the first time, very first. Remember, everything right now, we're in this moment of first, which is why it's so overwhelming for so many, right? For the very first time in this illuminated new moon and in this equinox. Now, tomorrow here in Ecuador, right, on the 20th, the equinox will be at 4:24 p.m. 4:24 p.m. I'm really loving those numbers, guys.
Yes.
Really loving those numbers. 4:24. We could take a whole show on that. But let's just look at this. Imagine that we're in this moment of unification, right? So imagine this is one energy that's been on their journey, and this is another. And it's not that one is better than the other. It's just that's how they've been going. Well, what's been happening is that they're being pulled together by a new harmony that is finding its way to bring them together. Yet there is an imbalance between the two until it's like a magnetic lock that brings the stabilization together. But until that lock happens, there is this moment of, oh, fuck, right? Excuse me. What's going on, right? Everything's shifting. Everything's changing. And this is because of what happened. I'm going to bring you right back to last week. Those of you that were not with us on Monday Mastery may not have seen this yet, but here's what's going on, guys, right? I'm sorry. We're on a very small computer with too many screens. There we are. Okay. So this is what's happening. We have this 0-point convergence that came into this experience of this potentiality to ignite all of those new alchemies just last Monday.
Right.
Right. And remember a moment ago, I was inviting you as we were looking at the 5 medicines. And I said, now remember, I'm going to tell you to remember that 0-point energy. Remember that? It was right there at the top of that living ankh. And then remember, we were just looking at, and I asked you to pay attention to the horizontal open eye of March. All right. Now look at this graphic. Now look where that horizontal eye is. It is literally the sustaining force that is keeping this Vesica Pisces from collapsing, because the eye is opening, the illumination is coming out of, and if you look right up through the top and bottom, that's the 0-point energy field of you. And if you look down, you'll see the hands and you'll see the head. If you go start diving into it, you're like, oh my God, you're showing us that Taurus field that we've been gazing at now ever since we ignited this in 2021. Yes, ever since we went into concentric dimensionality, ever since this happened, this is only a week old. And I want you to just breathe that in.
As you look at this balanced center, and the eye, gaze deeply there and feel the radiance and feel the importance of being able to be in the center. You know, we're in a year of the STORM.
Right.
The storm is an acronym for see the oneness, reclaim mastery. And I think many of us have felt the tugs and the pulls, especially since this Jupiter-Mars convergence last Monday, that you have these polarized energies, this tug energy. And who is most affected by that? It is the human ego that is most affected by these energies.
Absolutely.
And that ego identity is the part of ourselves that we are habitually using to engage the world. It's not the only way we engage, but most beings hang out there a lot. And
so true.
And that egoic energy now is being jostled a bit by these.
No, it's in a Vitamix. Okay. Right now, the egoic energy is freaking out. And it's because density has such a grip.
Density has an incredible grip.
Yeah.
And the fear machine is generating those waves.
And remember, the 5th dimension has become a place to sit and pretend.
So this brings us back to the spiritual, and I'll use the word discipline because a choice is involved. We make a choice and we act on the choice, as opposed to make a wish and wonder why it doesn't manifest.
Right.
Make a choice and act on your choice. And as we choose to see the oneness, as we choose to anchor our energy in the ascended heart and lift up into the wisdom of our divine connection, we have accessed what some people call the higher self, but that's the real self. That's who you are.
Yes.
And the ego, takes its rightful place as a vehicle to assist you in density, not to run you.
Oh, I love that. And a vehicle to assist you, not to run you. And as Shri was sharing, I heard you guys. I heard all the questions. I heard it all coming in. And the first thing I want to share is that, by the way, yes, because I saw it in here a couple of times, Shri and I were right in the middle of that earthquake yesterday, 6.9. And it was incredible. Shri was actually getting into a bathtub when it was going. I was standing right about here. And it was one of those very long, intense earthquakes. And because we've been in a 7.2 in Guatemala and other places, we were very aware of what was happening. And this is part of the lack of the stabilization. And here's the key, is that the convergence is here. And it's a 0 point convergence. And Shri, I want to go to some of these questions because I think it's important, because we're getting a lot of you asking. Here's one, and I'm not in any kind of thing going on here. I want to quickly answer Brian, who said, can you tell me the significance of 19? So what I will say is that in the energy of the ascended numerological systems of the ancient magi, the 19 is the 1 plus the 9, and the 1 plus the 9 is the 10, which is the energy of the one in harmonization with the infinite. It is the embodied presence through awareness, sincerity, and of course, the presence of being. So and that's all I'm going to say right now about that, but I just saw it, so I wanted to keep going. Okay, here's one where I want to go, oh, thank you, Courtney. She says, thank you for the courage you're demonstrating, MLKR and SRK. We bow before you, honey. You're the courage. We're just here being you, babe. Thank you. And all right, Brian, I want to answer this one for you. This is a great question, and there's others here too. What happens if you're stuck in between two different extremes of realities of positive and negative, no matter what you do? Great question for this moment. Would you like to share? I saw Shri sitting here warming up.
Oh, so. No, I was just grabbing the phone. Okay. But first off, I want you to relax the idea of no matter what you do.
Right, exactly. Start there, because what that's saying is right now, okay, my mastery cycle is at the moment of fifth dimensional awareness.
Mm-hmm.
You're at that moment of popping to the seventh, and that's why your question is so robustly, perfectly timed.
So many of us on a conscious spiritual path, a path of awakening, move into the fifth dimension quite easily, because the fifth dimension is that energy of compassion. It's that it has a neutrality to it that is loving and accepting. And that is actually a springboard, not a destination.
Well, now let's talk about that for a moment, Shri, because I think you're right on track there. And that is this. Let Archangel Zodkiel, I'm going to pull up a graphic in a moment. As a matter of fact, let me share the graphic with you, because you've seen this graphic for several years now. However, we are now releasing it in its full experience of all the potentialities. And so what you're gazing at is, and if you look down at the bottom, you see we first put this out in 2018. And so as part of the Ascension Escalator, as Archangel Zodkiel so beautifully shared with us, that many will have that opportunity to step into the fifth dimension, because many have been working with that. And when you arrive in the fifth dimension, Zodkiel describes it to Shri and I like a waiting room, that you arrive in this waiting room.
Right. And that waiting room is an opportunity to take some rest, an opportunity to take stock. Oh, I am here. I am at peace. I am forgiving, and all of those qualities that allow you to be in that space.
Exactly. And then here's the moment. Now I want you to gaze at the graphic. If you look at the very bottom there where it says third, right? And you see the nice little head and there's some little wings coming out of there. That's the angelic third dimensional presence. That's very much like the entry level moments where you wake up to angels and you walk into a metaphysical store and it's woo, like there's that moment of wow. That's the third dimensional witness, the one that's saying, oh my gosh, you mean there's more, and I'm not crazy, right? But from there, through these moments and through the gift, and in one word, it's compassion. It's compassion for the self. When we wrap our arms around our heart, when we love ourselves enough to move into the fifth dimensional experience of the witnesser, where we're not afraid to gaze at ourself, noticing with compassion how that self is navigating. But you also notice, if you look at the graphic, that that's very much like you're kind of it's like you've arisen up out of yourself, but you're sitting behind yourself. It's like you're sitting behind yourself, if you look at the way the graphic was constructed. And that was intentional. And you see that there's a much wider swath of wings there with a lot more potentiality, because that's what you're gazing at here. That's what I was trying to insert into this, is the essence of all of the potentialities, the recognitions of being able to hold stable in one field. And this goes back to your question as well, Brian, right? To hold stable in one field ends the cycle of the swing. But to hold this field open in that infinite clutter is very challenging if you are outside of the three essential steps, which is steadfast commitment, focused awareness, and complete trust. So what happens, excuse me, is in the fifth dimension, the way Zodkill shares it is that you start hanging out. Other people have been in the waiting room, and, you've been waiting a while, right? And so you're like, hey, what are you here for? Why are you here? What are you here? And before you know it, there's a little group that's been sitting in the waiting room for a while. But when others start showing up in the waiting room, it's like, yeah, we're over here, And so what happens is everyone forgets that you're in a waiting room. You're a witnesser of the witness. And it is a very profound place to be. And it's where many people get stuck.
And what happens is the ego of density is surrendering to the love, but hasn't fully released.
Yeah.
And in the surrender to the love, it basically feels pretty good to be in that compassion zone. It feels pretty good to be in that love zone and hang out with other beings. However, remember that we are light and we are expanding, and it's time to surrender what surrender looks like.
There it is.
For you, Brian. Surrender what surrender looks like.
A new tattoo.
And really let go of all expectation. And in this moment, I forgive myself for expecting it to be different. To let go of that and to lift up into the zone of non-judgment, which is the seventh dimensional energy.
Right. Which is to go beyond that question.
It is.
And so that's the moment, right? The springboard of that question is to bring yourself into the moment. And I'm going to put up the graphic one more time, because as Shri's holding his hands on his heart so beautifully, and it's so beautiful to see. You see how the seventh arises? You've been sitting in that waiting room. You've gotten comfortable. You've been in that waiting room for so long, and this is Archangel Zodkill, the way Zodkill described it to Shri and I, is that you've been sitting in the waiting room so long that you never bothered to look up or turn around or shift your perspective or expand beyond those that are sitting in the waiting room with you, all celebrating themselves in their fifth dimensional consciousness. You never stood up and saw the golden stairwell that's usually in my case, it was so filled with crystalline light, I was blinded. And when you see that crystalline stairwell, it's been waiting for you the whole time. It's yours. It's yours. And it requires you to stand up. You can't do this on your couch. You can't think your way through it. And as Shri always says so beautifully, you cannot play your way off the game board, because the fifth dimension, the witnesser of the fifth dimension right now still is choosing what it's the witnesser of. And because of the collapse of the fourth dimension, which if you don't understand that, go to our YouTube channel and just type in collapse fourth dimension, watch the video. So because of the collapse of the fourth dimension, and because of what you're seeing in the third dimension, which is the experience of the all in the planetary thought body, right? I'm going to bring you to another share. This is why the sacred five, the living Ankh. And remember, the living Ankh practice is at shriandkara.com. It's our gift to the world. Go learn it, do it every day. We'll be, of course, doing it live with everyone who's with us. But I'm going to invite Shri to read, because bring your hands to your heart right now. Just bring your hands to your heart right now, or stare at the mandala, whichever you prefer, and invite yourself to receive my beautiful husband's energy as he shares this.
So as we relax into a balanced breath, allowing the mind to naturally quiet, and be present to this sharing from Archangel Zadkiel. choose to know that everything in your world experience now is perfect as is. Trust your divine mastery presence as the guidance for the words and actions needed in all situations. Remember that every moment, every breath is lovingly supported by the one who truly loves you.
Breathing in and affirming, choose to know. Choose to know. When we are unable to see, is because fear is still ruling. And this is why, if you look at this mandala, I want you to bring your eyes right into the very, very center through that O in consciousness, and then relax your eyes. Breathing in, is the pyramid rising up? Is it billowing? Are the flames starting to move? Are the spirals in what direction? What are you noticing? Another energy that one day we will get animated. But the key is to remember this: your 4 points of foundation are the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. So I want you to remember that. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. And here comes consciousness. Titanic, right? But consciousness has been coming in, right? And so here we are, right? And here's, all those others. And when does that spiral? When does that mandala work? When does it all come together? I'm going to put it up again right now because I know you already know the answer. When consciousness enters and can assist to be the magnet that assists the all to realize and come together. I am here as the Sea of Neutrality, and to know that we are the table, that when we can rise and come together outside of the need to have ulterior motive, when we come and say, this is who I am, unabashedly, without need to genuflect, this is who I am. Who are you? And how can we expand together? That's global Minga. And I do pray that you're still connecting with global Minga often, because when Sri and I go to Los Angeles, that is the number one reason we're going, and the number one reason why we are bringing Alexander Padilla with us, to literally bring for the first time ever to this group representation from the Condor, representation from South America.
Yes.
And we are going through it, guys. We are going through it. And so your support matters. If you cannot be with us live and really try to get to LA, please get there. We have so much for the whole week. It's amazing. It's really affordable. Just get there. But if you can't do that, at the very least, make sure you're there with us Friday night. Make sure you're there for that mystical salon to receive that energy.
Yeah. And just as the graphic that we were sharing was
Do you want me to put it up again?
Go ahead. Sure.
I'm going to put it up again for a minute.
Still alive in your mind's eye.
Yeah.
I just want to invite you to recognize that it's easy as we grow. As a child, we become very consumed by our emotions. The emotional body seems to have priority, and consciousness is a little less prioritized for most. Of course, the physical, etc. The path of mastery, the path of the yoga of self-ascension, is the integration of consciousness as the essence of that which I am, as you are. And then the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual experiences become experiences that radiate through. They float in and they float out of consciousness. They are not your identity. They are mechanisms for experiencing the joy of being informed, the joy of having a body.
How amazing is that?
It's indeed the full integration. And in that fashion comes the upliftment into the place of conscious co-creation. All right.
All right. Oh,
Okay.
Anyway, hold on. I'm just sharing one thing, Sri, and it's only because everyone here has so many questions. But I wanted to say that Brian says, I don't remember, but does the ascended heart have to do with 100% the high heart representing the assemblage point? That's a yes and a no. And with what everything Shri was just sharing, that's very much about, I want you to go to the Divine Galactic Blueprint section of ShriandKira.com and learn more about that, because what happens is that in order to hold and stabilize the ascended heart, which is not a requirement of the high heart, but in order to stabilize the ascended heart, which is then the root center of the Divine Galactic Blueprint of the 12-pointed chakra system of the ascended state of being, right? The first, second, and third chakra have to stabilize. And so that's the discernment. Yeah.
And the first, second, and third chakras of the traditional system, from the pelvis to the sacral to the solar plexus, these are the chakras that maintain the health of the body, but they also engage into the illusionary world of density, and they keep people locked into believing I'm just this body.
Exactly.
And that type of thing.
Exactly.
So it's important to recognize, as in our recently published book on the four knowns from Archangel Zadkiel.
Go read the four knowns. We were actually going to read it to you today, but we'd rather have a second song from Fanny. So we're not going to read it, but go get the four knowns. It's still at Amazon. Get it.
You get it in print or in Kindle. But it's important to take a breath and recognize, I am not this body. And say hello to the body. I love you.
I love you.
However, I am not this body.
And Shri, that is so important right now with this. Can I show the ascended numerology?
Let's
Because
do that.
Boy, if ever there was a queue up, right? And so let's take a look at the ascended numerology, my loves. Let's really take a look at that, because here's what's going on in March. Now, the first thing we want to look at the very top. March itself is a 7 prime in a 7 prime infinite year, and March 2023 together is the infinite itself with the infinite, right? This is why we opened up. That's why the 5 this year, everything is about your eternal nature, rejuvenation, restoration. Remember, your physical body was designed in this potentiality for a minimum of 120 years to be able to successfully sustain you. Your DNA, once sufficiently expanded, can override that for many more years, many more. And so look at your body, as Shri was just talking about. Shri, I just have to say, when I look at the ascended numerology, I look at it and go, oh my God, where is it? This whole month is upstairs.
It's all the upper chakras.
So, oh my gosh, right? People are freaking out.
Well, yeah, because
imbalance. Wouldn't that be the instability?
Well, what happens is we grow accustomed. When I say we, I'm referring to the ego identity that has been tracking with you your whole life.
Right.
We grow accustomed to having a certain sense of groundedness in earthly activity.
Right.
And when that earthly activity includes the fear and competition and greed and all these other energies, it tends to push on us. However, the energy that is real, that is upon humanity at this time, is lifting us into the higher chakras, which is saying to you, trust, be stable in your world and trust your guidance.
Now, be stable in your world and trust your guidance. I want you guys to look at these dates. Look at Monday. That's when we had that Mars amplification of that Jupiter effect, and that was the 8. Look over at where the 8 is, Lotus. Lotus, 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 way up there going, create, bring it in, be there, see it, open it, because nothing can be hidden right now. We've been hanging out there, and here's where it's been wild, right? Look where we're going tomorrow. We are bouncing. So look at the 8 on the wheel. And this is what I was talking about earlier in the month. This is that pirate ship moment. So we've gone all the way up, and we're all the way up on this pirate ship ride at the circus, right? It's all the way up, and we're all holding on going, oh God, here it goes. Boom. And you're already in it. You're already in that energy. But here's the good news. Tomorrow at 4:24 our time, 5:24 Eastern, adjust for your time zone, right? Tomorrow we all go into the 5, and look where that is. It's your truth. And look at your truth. If you look at the body, your truth, your truth, your truth. Stay in your truth. Don't be afraid. It doesn't take courage when you know the universe is saying, this is your moment. You don't need to pretend. You don't need to hide. And if dominoes are falling, trust it. Let them fall and pay attention, because the universe is saying you're the master, and we are in a co-creative mastery moment. I am here as a sea of neutrality, and I am as you are. This moment right now, Shri and I The next time we are going to be with all of you will be on Monday, the 27th, live from the mansion that we're all going to be living in, where you'll be with us live Friday night, one way or another. I hope you're with us either on the video stream, which you have to register. We can't broadcast it. It's too much energy field, but be there. So Shri, I think it's time for Fanny. What do you think?
Yeah, and as we invite Fanny to come in, I just want to offer to all of us that have gathered here, whether live or coming up as you access this on YouTube later, to remember your life is your spiritual journey.
Exactly.
Every moment.
Hey.
Every moment, your life is your spiritual path. And as we breathe into the truth of our divine nature, we can smile at the energies that would bounce by, just like you're in the car looking at all the scenery. Smile at it all and remember that I am essence. I am safe. I am a divine being enjoying my human form.
And we love you.
Fanny?
So exciting, so enticing, so marvelous. This one is called Crystal Light. Messenger of the stars, remember, you are a messenger of the stars. We are the dreamers, we are the dream. We are the dancers. We are the dance. We are reawakening. We are remembering that love, love, love is the sacred dance. We are the lovers. We are love. We are the creators. You are your creation. We are the singers. We are the song. Remember, spotlight. Remember, you are the messenger of the stars. Remember, we are the dreamers. We are the dreamers. We are reawakening, we are remembering who we are. Love is the sacred dance. Love is the sacred dance.
Much gratitude.
We are so blessed. We love you all so much, Fanny, with all our heart. Thank you for the honor.
So, beloved ones, thank you, dear. We invite you to put your love in the chat, to visit ShriAnkira.com and get yourself registered for the events. And I heard rumor Fanny's going to play on the Monday Magic.
She's going to come in via video. We'll have her there. We'll get her
coming
there
up in a
somewhere.
week.
That'll be on Monday Magic, surprise music.
So it's a beautiful time. Emergence is the energy to ride up and out and onward.
Oh, we love you all. We'll see you soon. Thank you. Many blessings.
Namaste.